I mean, that's pretty shitty, you've got to be honest. Nerumero doesn't deserve this kind of treatment, in my opinion. Not by another person in the community, but actually by Hoyoverse themselves, which I think is even worse, to be honest. Okay, guys, there's been a bit of a massive scandal in the JP side of things for their Hoyoverse official content creators. You might have seen this post here on Twitter. It currently has 16,000 likes with 4.8 thousand bookmarks and over 4 million views here. And with a quick translation up here, it says, so they were officially told not to play Wuthering Waves, like after all. So I want to get into this. I want to really dispel what's true, what's not true, and just explain what the whole timeline of things is. So let's just get right into it. So first, I'm going to listen to this clip, and then we're actually going to check out the context of what led up to this, what he said before, what he said here exactly, and also what's said after as well. So let's go into it.
名調が始まった時に
So when he started playing Wuthering Waves?
あんまり名調やらんでほしいです。って話があったんですよ。
Yeah, so what he just said there is that he was contacted, because I've seen the entire context of things, that this section here, he was asked, or rather, this is a bit of a lost in translation thing with Japanese. They said, we would prefer it if you didn't play Wuthering Waves. But this is a thing with Japanese where there's a lot of subcontext into what they actually mean about things. Like if I ask someone to do something for me and they say, that's a little bit difficult. I mean, they're not saying no, but effectively saying, yeah, no, go fuck yourself. That's the way Japanese works as a language. So even though they are saying we would prefer it if you didn't, and with him being at the time an official Hoyoverse content creator, the implication is that we don't want you to do that. So that's what this means here.
おもろかったわ。名調の配信終わった直後にさ、名調の人からメール来るわ。ホヨクリエイターから連絡来るわで。
So here he says that he was contacted right after he finished his initial stream of Wuthering Waves. So Nerumero here has actually streamed Wuthering Waves before, and that first time that they did that, they were contacted right away after the stream by an official Hoyoverse liaison, a person from Hoyoverse, from their content creators server in Japan, and they asked them, or rather should I say, more specifically, they said, we would prefer it if you didn't, which, like I said earlier, is like them asking them, we really don't want you to do that. But is this really a big thing? Like, who is Nerumero? Are they important enough to warrant any kind of attention? Yeah, basically, yeah, they are quite big in Japan. This is Nerumero's YouTube page right here. They have 5,409,000 subscribers alone, just on their main channel, not even including the sub-channels as well. And on Twitter, they have 372,000 followers, so they are pretty big in Japan. Not the biggest, that goes to Maguro Head, but one of the biggest for sure. And for this entire time, for basically all they do is stream nothing but majorly Genshin and sometimes other Hoyoverse properties such as Xenophon Zero or every now and then Honkai Star Rail, but mainly Genshin, and that's their main thing. And as we just heard in the clip that we just listened to, when they did try Wuthering Waves on stream, they were asked right after, please don't do that, by official Hoyoverse staff. And even though their video views don't get that many views, say 16,000 here, 43,000 here, like for the size of the channel, like this one here is pretty big for 246,000. They're actually mainly a live streamer on the YouTube platform. So like in Japan, the main streaming platform is in fact YouTube compared to Twitch as it is abroad. And if you see here, this is the live stream where that clip earlier was taken from. Usually their live streams get around, let's say, 66,000, 33,000. For the Mavuika, the 5.3 live stream, they got 247,000 here just on this 2.5 hour live stream by itself. 87,000 here, 54,000 for live streams here. But that stream from 20 hours ago got 129,000 because it caused quite a stir. So I want to go into a bit of what led up to that conversation and what they were talking about. Because the fact of the matter is, the biggest reason why this is causing a stir in Japan isn't mainly because they were told not to play Wuthering Waves. I mean, that is a big thing, but that's not the main thing as well. It's actually to do with the way that Nerumero was actually treated by the Hoyoverse staff over the past few years, which he gets into in detail over here. So they start talking about certain things around 2 minutes 35. I've got notes on here because I've already watched this entire live stream to find out the particular things in the context, because I want to give you guys as much accurate information as possible. So around 2 minutes 35 here, they say...
スメールが一番なんか好き。スメールが一番面白かったな。一 待を超えてきたって意味では。
He's playing with Julon here. He's actually saying that his favorite area was Sumeru. And then they continue on soon in about a few seconds.
そう、なんかね、名称にはね、変装スキルってものがあって。
He's talking about the intro-outro skills from Wuthering Waves.
まあ、原神はさ、スキル、必殺技、
Okay, so in Genshin they have the skill.
元素爆発
and the ult
で通常銃撃がある
and then normal attack.
ここプラスなんか音外スキル
But in Wuthering Waves they have this and also
なんかね、
echoes.
爆発キャラクター切り替えた時にスキルなんか別のスキル
Yep, it's talking about the intro outro skills from Wuthering Waves.
原神に輸入しちゃっていいと思うんだよな
Yeah, and that's really interesting if you get the timing right on that. And here he's saying that if they implemented these kinds of things into Genshin as well, like the intro outro skills and something else on top of that, such as the echoes, then that could actually bring new life into their old characters as well from the 1.0, 1.1 to make them more usable, because right now they're just collecting dust. After that, he actually talks about more things about what he likes about Genshin and that what he hopes for in the future. He also talks about Xenoson Zero a little. And later on, okay, so up to this point around here.
じゃあ
Yep.
話すか
Okay, so
なんで私がこのクリエイター抜けたかって話なんですけど
He's saying, so why did I leave the official Hoyoverse content creator program?
先行プレイに呼ばれなかったみたいな話はまあ理由の一つではある
So here he's saying that one of the reasons was because he wasn't invited into the early access servers to get early access to the characters, so he could get a feel for them, to get his own thoughts in order. And so one of the reasons why he left the Hoyoverse content creator program was one of those, but that's not the only reason, nor is that the biggest reason either.
けど、まあ、それがみんな私がホヨクリエイター抜けた理由だと思ってるっぽいんだけど
So everyone thinks that's probably the main reason,
私の中だったら第3位かな
but for him, it's probably the third biggest reason.
もともとホヨクリエイターからはね、いる意味ないあんまないなと思ってたんだよな
And he feels like there's no real point in being an official Hoyoverse creator anymore.
ほとぼりも冷めた頃だと思うので、
Mm-hmm.
実は私ホヨクリエイターに入ったのね2回目です、
So this is actually the second time he's become an official Hoyoverse creator.
入ってたんですよ
And he says that he was actually, well, he thinks he's probably either the first or the second Japanese official content creator for Genshin. Yeah, he's talking about when he was invited, like they've made this community to connect all the other content creators for Genshin. And he was really interested in
なんで
that.
すけどある日突然追い出されちゃったんですよ
And then one day he was like just thrown out, just suddenly, like without any warning. Okay, I'm gonna because like I said, I've actually listened to this already. What he says is that in the beginning of his YouTube career, doing content for Genshin, when he had around about 1,000 subscribers, he made a Discord server for his fans to connect and talk to him directly. And in that Discord server, this is around about 1.0, 1.1 of Genshin, like right as soon as they just started out. And at that time, there was never really any talk officially from Genshin devs from Hoyoverse or MiHoYo at the time as they were known, that they didn't really appreciate leaks. So at the time, in 1.0, 1.1, there wasn't really anything to do after you've already done the story. So after you've done the story, there wasn't much to do in the world, like at all. So a lot of content creators talked about leaks, about the new updates to come. So they were talking about things like newer things in Liyue, and they were talking about other things in Dragonspine as well. And so when in his Discord channel, his private Discord channel, he had a channel in there to talk about leaks. And then later on, a few months later, around 1.3 or 1.4, Genshin devs, Hoyoverse, MiHoYo, did actually release a statement saying, look, we don't really appreciate it. Can you guys refrain from doing leaks? And at that time, after that notice had been sent out, Nerumero was like, yeah, fine, that's completely fair, I understand that. And they did not cover any leaks since that point. However, the leak channel in his Discord wasn't really active at all. So he forgot that he had that in his Discord. And what happened later on is that someone, like after he had gotten into the official Hoyoverse content creator program, someone went to the MiHoYo devs and was basically complaining and saying, oh, you don't like leaks, but this Nerumero guy over here, he's got a leak channel in his Discord. Aren't you going to do something about that? But the thing is though, like he was made a content creator after having this leak channel. So, and he was invited by an official from miHoYo at the time. So he thought like everything was all forgiven, regarding the past leaked content that he had made in the past during 1.0, 1.1. But then later on as well, around the time of the Nahida trailer, there were those old rumors that Nerumero used to have this leak channel being like kicked up again. So this old history was being dragged up, and then they started getting like some negative attention. And then because of these people complaining about, oh, he used to cover leaks, so why do you have him in your official content creator program? They complained to Hoyoverse at the time, and Hoyoverse just kicked him out. They didn't ask him, because around that time he was a big streamer, he was a big content creator. They didn't ask him, they didn't reach out just to see what's going on here. They didn't do anything at all. They just flat out kicked him out. No word, no nothing at all. And so after that happened, he actually he didn't know what happened. So he was like, oh, I'm not allowed in the channel, in the Discord server anymore. What happened here? Maybe there might have been a mistake or something. So he actually reached out to his handler, which he's got censored up here. But basically he's just asking, I don't know what happened. I'm not sure if I've done anything wrong, but I'm not able to access the server anymore. I enjoy playing Genshin. Can someone help me with this situation? This is that post there saying, thank you for the support. Okay, this is a bit of a mistranslation. The actual phrase is Osewa natamasu, which is a general greeting. It can mean something like say thank you for everything so far, and also it can mean thank you for your continued support. It's just like, thank you for always being there for me up until now and hopefully going forward. My name is Nerumero and I am a YouTuber who plays Genshin Impact. I always enjoyed playing Genshin Impact. This is sudden, but it seems I have been removed from the official Genshin Discord community that I was invited to the other day. It may have been my fault, so you're saying maybe I did something wrong, I'm not too sure. But if there was a problem, I would appreciate it if you could let me know, because I just want to know what I did wrong. He's worried that he had done something wrong. He's like, okay, maybe I did something wrong. I'm worried that I might have offended other people in there, or miHoYo as well. So I'm sorry if I have done anything wrong. I'm sorry about that. This is such a mistranslation. Douka yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. It means like, I would appreciate any help in this matter, on this issue, if possible. After he sent that message, what did this person say? What did his handler say? Absolutely fucking jack shit. They ignored his ass. They didn't say a single damn thing. And this was sent out in 2022, October 24th. And for months and months and months after that, he had no word. He had no idea what happened, and they just were not responding to his communications at all. And the thing he says as well is that if he was suspected of looking at leaks at this point in time as well, then he would at least have wanted them to reach out and ask him, because he felt like up until this point he had built up some kind of relationship with the Genshin devs, particularly this handler as well, a friendly relationship that he's providing all this content for them to promote their game. So he was really shocked and really taken aback that they just flat out ignored him. They just treated him as if he was like trash on the street. And he says it was like this for about a year until another content creator called Nagi. I'm going to show you, this is another Genshin content creator here, Nagi here. They have 253,000 subscribers on here, and up on Twitter they have 122.8 thousand followers as well. And as you can see here, they basically stream almost exclusively Genshin content. So they're also another quite big content creator here in Japan. Interestingly, this is a bit of a side tangent. Interestingly, 8 hours ago, and they actually did do their first stream for Wuthering Waves. So the timing on this is actually quite interesting, if not a little bit suspicious. Because like I said, they've done nothing but Genshin Impact. Oh wait, no, League of Legends. Sorry, the League of Legends there. Majorly Hoyoverse content, like say here, Alikino, Genshin, a bit of Zone Zero up here as well. But you can see that they're mainly a Hoyoverse creator, and then just very suddenly they're putting out this Wuthering Waves content here, this Wuthering Waves stream. But Nagi is not the bad guy in this at all. I'm not saying that Nagi is suspicious themselves. I'm just saying the timing of this is a little bit suspicious, because Nagi is one of the good guys that was that helped Nerumero get back into the content creator server, because there was an event that was happening, and Nagi managed to invite Nerumero, and at that event, Nerumero was able to directly talk to someone from Hoyoverse, and basically they were able to build up another relationship, build up another line of communication. But even then, even after all this, they still weren't treated the same as the other content creators in Japan. Because there were certain events that were happening in Japan. There's a lot of events for Hoyoverse, particularly Genshin in Japan. And Nerumero, even though they are a massive YouTuber, massive streamer as well, they were not invited to basically any of them. Okay.
アニメイト本店行ってサインのとこにネルメロいなかったな。
So saying this person, this is not a streamer. This is just a random person on Twitter, I think. This is Pika. This is just a regular person. So no one go there. No one bother them, please. But what they're saying here that they went to Animate, the main Animate in Japan, and they saw the signboard for all of the different voice actors for the Japanese characters of Genshin, as well as there were other bigger streamers as well there. Such as here, this is the signature for the Tignari voice actor. You got Farina's signature here. You got Kirada's signature, Setos. All these different characters here, all these different people here have been invited to this quite big event in Animate, and they're saying here near the sign area, Nerumero wasn't there. And so he's talking about this event here.
これあれか、原神の声優さんのサインか。
Yeah, talking about the voice actor
私これね、呼
sign.
ばれてないんですよ。
And I wasn't invited, he's saying. I wasn't called. I wasn't told about
ク
this.
リエイターの人たち、原神の配信者とか動画投稿者さんと仲良くしててさ。
So he's saying here that he had built up a relationship with other JP content creators or Hoyoverse content creators, and he was not invited to this. But on the day of this, I'm going to let him just say this
ネ
first.
ルメロでもう普通にいろいろお話しするわけよ。で、ネルメロアニメイトのやつ呼ばれた？一緒に行こうぜ。何時なら空いてるみたいなチャット来て。
So what he just said there is that he got a message on the morning of this event from another content or other content creators that were going to the event that were invited, saying, "Nerumero, are you up? What time are you going? We've got to go to the anime event." And he's like, "What? I wasn't invited. I don't know anything about this."
今でも覚えてるわ。つら。
And he says, even now I remember that day and it was really painful. He didn't like it. It was pretty tough.
ガチで辛いこれ。
Yeah, that was really tough. Like he's saying that other content creators for Hoyoverse were there and they also signed it, but he didn't get an invite. He felt left out by this.
原神の動画とか頑張ってきたんだけどさ。
Saying, I tried my best. I put all my effort into making videos about Genshin.
こんな気持ちになるぐらいなら、初めから原神の実況者とか配信者にならん方が幸せだったなって思った。
Okay, he's saying here, if I had known that I was going to feel this way, like feel left out and just completely desperate in a sense, then he says that he thinks he would have been happier if he hadn't been a Genshin YouTuber or streamer in the first place. Because he was feeling like sad and dejected that he saw all of his friends being invited to all these different events and he was the only one being left out. I mean, us in EN, we're kind of familiar with another YouTuber, another content creator that had a similar experience. So imagine that this is the Japan version of that experience, basically. But in fact, it's even worse because it wasn't someone else in the community that was like having them, like isolating them. It was actually the Hoyoverse staff themselves. They were the ones that were isolating him, that they didn't want him to be a part of all these events, even though he was making all this content for them for free. Because there was no actual, he actually says this later on, there was no actual contract being signed, that there was no real like money changed hands like at all like for that. So it's not like he was on payroll and he was getting something out of it. No, he was getting like literally nothing from them, and they were treating him this way, even though he was giving them all this free press, free attention on all these videos and all this content.
これこそ本格的にいる意味ないじゃん。
Yeah, he's saying being an official Hoyoverse content creator, there is actually no real point to it, like at all for him anymore, at least.
一番はやっぱりこれやな。
Oh, so he was going through the
リーク見てるぞっつって
three reasons why he left being an official content creator.
聞いて
It's saying here the biggest reason for him is that he didn't really like being mistreated by the official Hoyoverse staff, like being kicked out without being reached out to, and then absolutely completely ignoring him, like just the complete mistreatment. It was something he really didn't like.
聞いてくれなかったことが一番。
That's the first one.
2番はやっぱり
The second one?
答えたね。
that's
原
what you
神
just
のアニメイトコラボの時に私が呼ばれなかった。
And then the second one is him not being invited to all of these different events, like at all. Being ignored, being mistreated, and then on top of being mistreated, this also plays into being mistreated, to be honest, not being invited when everyone else was as well.
3番は
And the third one?
先行プレイに呼ばれなかった。
And the third one is what he said earlier. The third reason is not being invited to be a part of the early access beta servers to get his thoughts and opinions on characters when they come out.
だったらさ、その人からは、ね、優先される。
He says here?
だから、なんかすごい複雑。いや、原神
He
が
feels complicated.
原神っていうゲームは
He feels conflicted, should I say.
好きなんですけど、
He likes Genshin as a
原神
game,
の運営は正直あんま好きじゃない。
but he doesn't like the
こういうこと
devs.
があったから。
Like if something happens, then they get really high and mighty and basically look down on you. Oh, like you deserve this. You deserve all this mistreatment as well. So it's not good. Not good at all.
抜けて良かった面もあって。
Okay, he was talking about the benefits of leaving the official Hoyo creators in Japan.
名調が始まった時に。
Okay, this is what we got to earlier.
レベルさん、あんまり名調やらんでほしいです。
This is the clip that we just listened to earlier. This is the clip where he's saying that at the beginning when he did do his first live stream about Wuthering Waves, they came up to him and as I explained earlier, they came up to him and said, "We would prefer it if you didn't," you know. So on top of them mistreating him for all these years, like literally years. Because Wuthering Waves came out in 2024, like this year, right? So they had this happen in 2022, and then they had another thing with anime in 2023. We had all these things happen, and no, the anime thing, sorry, happened earlier this year, should I say. So they're mistreating him for all these years, kicking out for no reason, not asking, not reaching out, not giving the benefit of the doubt, and then also isolating him and not including him in everything, in all the events that they're inviting everyone else to. And then on top of that, they're not also allowing him to be part of the early access service. So it's giving an unfair advantage to the other ones as well, even though he is a massive content creator for Genshin. So on top of all that, when he did want to try to play another game, such as Wuthering Waves, they come out and say, "Oh no, we'd really appreciate it if you didn't." I mean, that's pretty shitty, you've got to be honest. And I said, this is like
おもろかったわ。名調の配信終わった直後にさ、
right after he finished the high stream, the stream, should I say.
ホヨバの原神を選びました。
And that's why he stuck with Genshin and he didn't play Wuthering Waves
拘
after
束
that.
力はないです。
Okay, he says here that there was no real restriction, like they didn't implement any restrictions on him, like they didn't have any power to implement any restrictions on him because he was not actually he didn't actually sign any kind of contracts. He actually explains that a bit later on.
いや全然拘束力ない。ただ私は原神に恩を感じてて、
Okay, says here.
まあね、他のゲーム盛り上げるのもあれかなと思って。
So he's saying here that he feels indebted to Genshin because he's making his living off Genshin with all these views. He's basically streaming every day, and this is how he makes his money. So because he feels indebted to Genshin as a game, Genshin the game, not Genshin the devs, like not Hoyoverse, because he feels indebted to Genshin the game, and that's why he acquiesced to them asking him not to play Wuthering Waves anymore, because he understands that Wuthering Waves is a rival to Genshin, so like he didn't play that, and he like would play other games, but mainly Genshin instead.
言っても大丈夫なやつ。いやもう縁切ってるからね。
Yeah, a lot of his chat here are asking him, is it okay for you to talk about this? And he's like, yeah, it doesn't matter because I basically cut all ties with them now, so they've got really no power over me.
でもね、そのお金もらってるとかじゃないからね。
Yeah,
金銭的な拘束力とかはないし。
It's saying here that no money was exchanged hands, so there's no kind of like a contract that had been signed, so really they have no power over what he can or cannot say.
で、名調を始めたらバカおもろくてね。
He's saying that when he first started playing Wuthering Waves, it was stupidly interesting, like it was really fun.
今もうほんまに辛いんよ、原神やってて。
It's sort of difficult for him to play
ネ
Genshin.
ルメロは印象悪い人だってイメージついてるし、
Like there's going to
活
be
動
like
してても何
a
かしら
bad
誰か
image
しら
of
文句言わ
him.
れるし、おもろいけどな。予告番組見てる時とかすごいワクワクするし、
Like
おもろい
he enjoys watching the
見
live
れるなっ
streams,
て思うんだ
but
けど、
playing the game is difficult
なん
because
かあると、
there's all this baggage.
でも名調やってたらね、結構名調の人たちからね、名調のプレイヤーたちからね、めっちゃ温かく迎えてもらえるんよな。
He's talking about the Wuthering Waves community here. He's saying that that the Wuthering Waves community were very warm and they're very welcoming to him, and he felt comfortable playing the game and talking with them as compared to not Genshin community in Japan entirely, because all of his chat are basically they're Genshin players in Japan. So he's not villainizing the Genshin community in Japan. He's just saying he does have his haters that would just like have this really bad opinion of him for whatever reason, maybe because of the whole leaks thing in the past, like years and years ago. When it was okay to, for lack of a better term, and when he did try to play Wuthering Waves, and when he has talked to those in the Wuthering Waves community in Japan, they were very warm, they were very welcoming, and they were very friendly. So he really likes that. He feels welcomed by the community over here in Japan for Wuthering Waves.
原神しないと食えないよ。
Okay, so here's someone said, if you don't play Genshin, you won't be able to eat. And what they're basically saying is that he shouldn't bite the hand that feeds him. And by that I mean that he shouldn't really abandon Genshin to go play another game such as Wuthering Waves, because if he did that, he wouldn't be able to earn enough money to, as a YouTuber or as a streamer to make a living. But in response to that, he says,
原神で私多分これ以上無理だなと思って。
He's saying here that he probably can't continue playing Genshin anymore, at least not to the degree that they have been doing so far, like up until now. He actually talks later on in this video, he actually mentioned it a little bit, but he actually talks more in detail later on that if he did need to make money, I mean, he's made quite a bit of money over the years covering Genshin, so he'd put that money into stocks, and he'd probably like live off stocks or something if he really needed to. I'm not really too sure if he'll need to do that. He actually says that later on that he will actually still continue to play Genshin, but maybe not as much. But also, while he is playing Genshin, he's going to be more frank and more open and honest with, and more critical with his opinions as well about Genshin as a game. And also throughout all of this, his community were really supportive of him, like absolutely. I'm just going to go to these particular sections. Like they was like sending in a lot of super chats as well. Not insignificant as well. It's like 800 yen here, that's about $5 or something. Here, got another 3,200 yen here, that's about $25. 2,000 yen here. It says also 3,000 yen here as well. People just like throwing money at him. This here was a 10,000 yen super chat, which is equivalent of like, I don't know what the exchange rate is right now, probably like $50 or 75, 50 to $75. Like it's changing recently, but that's a massive amount of money just to support him. Then this one up here, 8,000 yen here, that's another like 40 or $50 there. They were like really supportive, 3,000 yen, like I said earlier. People were just sending in a lot of money to support him for coming out with this and saying it doesn't matter. They basically saying it doesn't matter if you're not going to play in Genshin anymore. We are here for you. We are not here for Genshin. Of course, there are probably some people in here for Genshin, but he has built up a really loyal fan base that really loves him as a person, as a VTuber, should I say, as a person, because it's a person behind the VTuber. It's a person, and they're here for him, the person. They like him. They like what he says. They feel comfortable talking with him, and he feels comfortable talking with them. So they are here to support him throughout the entirety of all this. In saying that, he says this.
今だいぶ無敵に近いからね、私今。
He's saying here that right now he feels pretty invincible because of all the support that he's been getting from his community.
まあなんでこのタイミングで話したかっていうと、
why am I talking about this right now?
マービカの先行プレイの動画が改めて出て、
talking about the Mavrika Early Access play.
お、ネルメロ先行プレイはどうだったみたいなコメントが来ると思って。
Okay, so he's saying that the reason why he's coming out with this information right now is because with Mavrika's early access play and gameplay footage coming out right now, he's expecting a lot of people to ask him, how's Mavrika? What do you think? And because he's not able to access that early access server to play her, he can't really answer that. So he basically prepared all this in advance to let everyone know just what the situation is and why he's not in the early access server and why he's left the official Hoyoverse content creator program in Japan.
でも本当、原神のクリエイターさんたちは本当にすごい人たちだし。
And he's saying here that he's not throwing any shade at all at any of the other content creators in Japan that do have access to it, or maybe if they don't have access. He's saying all of the content creators in Japan, they're incredible people, and he actually asks his community to continue supporting them as well, even though he might not play Genshin as much as he has been doing over these past couple of years. Yeah, like he has fun playing Genshin, but every now and then it gets a bit painful because of all this past baggage. He actually goes on to talk about his plans going forward, thanking their fans for their continued support, and that there will probably be haters out there, but like he's asking his fans, just don't interact with the haters, just ignore them. Because he actually says as well, that there might be, he uses the term like a false flag operation by his haters to portray his community as being toxic in their defense of him. So he's like, no, just ignore them. Don't do anything. Do not defend me. Do not talk to them. Do not interact with them at all, because they're going to do that. They're going to do whatever they want to do. Just ignore them. Forget about it. We're gonna be here. We're gonna do our own thing, and they're gonna do whatever they want to do. For Nerumero, it's actually not just a case of him being asked, or rather heavily insinuated, told not to play Wuthering Waves. It's also all this other backlog of things. Like I said before, it's about him also being unfairly mistreated throughout the entirety of this, of him being kicked out with no warning, no message, no nothing, and then completely ignored, and then also not being invited to the events to be a part of the. He doesn't feel like he's a part of the content creator community because he's consistently being left out. Again, like I said, not by another person in the community, but actually by Hoyoverse themselves, which I think is even worse, to be honest. Then on top of that, also being put into a more disadvantageous position of not being able to access that early access server for the characters. So yeah, this is not good. I actually want to look at some of the comments here. Yeah, I want to find what the top voted comments are. So we're just going to jump to those. I've already translated it myself, so I'm going to read my translation here, but you can see this is the one I'm talking about here. The comment says here, there aren't many streamers who play Wuthering Waves, so it was only moderately popular in Japan for its quality, but I'm happy to see a big streamer like Nerumero having fun playing it. Let's go to the next one. I want Nerumero to do what he wants, and that's the most fun for the viewers, so they want him to keep going and doing their best. So you can see everyone, all the chat here, they're all being really supportive, like I said here. Okay, this is like rife with mistranslation, so I'm gonna stick with my one with my translation here. I've been playing Genshin since launch day. I was using Razor at the time, and I thought, oh wow, you're using Razor too. I felt a sense of familiarity, and I've been watching Nerumero regularly ever since. Man, that was painful to hear what you went through, though. However, I believe that this painful experience will definitely help you grow going forward. You don't have to force yourself to continue playing Genshin if you don't want to, so do your best and continue at your own pace. I'll keep supporting you as long as you don't do anything weird like flirting with your girlfriend on stream. I mean, I think they're joking with that last line. Maybe they're serious, I don't know, but I thought it was funny. This one is just like what the hell is this? This is like adult bullying, like bullying an adult. It was definitely painful to hear that you were invited to the early access servers even after going through this process. Even after everything you've contributed to Genshin so far, if you're still not trusted after all this time, there's no point in being there. When I think of Genshin streamers in Japan, Nerumero is the first person that comes to mind, and I was really helped by his guides and videos, so I think Genshin management or the Genshin devs will regret the way that they treated Nerumero in the future. I will definitely be here to support you in any future activities, like basically in anything you do going forward. They said here, it's really sad that Hoyo contacted you to say that they would prefer you if you didn't play Wuthering Waves. I thought it was just a rumor that they wanted to stir up flames between communities, because there was actually a rumor about something to do with this a couple of months ago, but I couldn't find any concrete evidence about that because, again, it's just a rumor. I don't really want to put that misinformation out there. So yeah, there was a rumor that other content creators were being at least pressured in some way, shape or form to not play Wuthering Waves. So there was that rumor, and they're talking about that one here. They thought that at the time when that rumor was going around that it was just a rumor to stir up conflict between the Hoyoverse and Kuro Games communities. I mean, we all know there is a massive conflict between those two. I mean, I said this before and I'll say it again, we all just need to chill the fuck out. But continuing with the translation here. They can create interesting quests, so they should rely on their strengths, as in meaning that they shouldn't try to stifle other competition, because, well, this person thinks that the Genshin quests are really interesting and really fun, so they shouldn't have to do that, because why would you need to do that if your game's already good in the first place? That being said, Wuthering Waves devs are very interesting and very fun because they're always sending out invites and doing collabs and other events. And then Nerumero must have been pushing himself too hard. It must have been really difficult for them. I want you, Nerumero, to enjoy life at your own pace. I quite like Nerumero, who speaks his true feelings after leaving Hoyokuri. This is like the Hoyoverse creator group. So yeah, I have not seen any comments in here that are against what he said or anything like that. Everyone has been incredibly supportful. And like I said, guys, we cannot turn this into a Hoyoverse community versus Kuro community thing. This is something to do with the devs, okay? All these people here, they are, in my opinion, from what I've seen, they are very firmly in the Hoyoverse Genshin community, and they are in full support of Nerumero in what they have said about this, and they also support him in playing any game that they want to, not just Wuthering Waves. So I don't want anyone to go after Hoyoverse or Genshin players, because they're not the guilty party in this. It's Hoyoverse themselves, Hoyoverse the devs. They are the ones that need the criticism, because this treatment of one of their biggest content creators in a market which is fucking huge, basically. The Japanese market, they spend so much money. You saw the amount of like super chats they were giving just to their streamer here. Just imagine how much money they're dropping on these games. It's an absolute shit ton. So yeah, this is not looking good for Hoyoverse. Nerumero, I didn't freeze on a particularly flattering image for them here. But yeah, Nerumero does not, in my opinion, because I have seen them, I've looked at their streams before. Nerumero doesn't deserve this kind of treatment, in my opinion. Hoyoverse has got some explaining to do. That's my read of it. But yeah, it's not good. So it's not just, like I said, I need to repeat, this whole thing is not just about them being told not to play Wuthering Waves. I mean, us in the Wuthering Waves community, we think that's the biggest thing, but for him, it's not. It's one of the big things, but not one of the biggest things. Like I said, it's the treatment of him, him being isolated, and also not being allowed into the early access server for him to create his content. So yeah, it's not good. Hopefully he enjoys his time playing Wuthering Waves. That's the thing as well. I have actually been looking for other content creators in Japan, big ones as well, to see what they're saying about Wuthering Waves, and it's been really fucking difficult. And I'm thinking, this is really, really strange. I'm wondering why. And I do think, again, this is tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, kind of supported from this conversation here, but I do think that Hoyoverse has been putting pressure on their JP content creators to not cover Wuthering Waves, because it's been really difficult to find information. Because I have been trying to find information, like what does Japan think, what do these big Japanese content creators think, and what does the community think about Wuthering Waves, what do they think about this story quest, what do they think about that story quest, what do they think about this character, that character. I've been trying to find that, and it's been really difficult. And like, we had a bit of it at the start, and then it just disappeared. And I thought, well, we know that they had that massive issue with the Jian's weapon banner, so I thought maybe they just didn't want to cover it because they felt burnt. But now I'm thinking, well, maybe that is a part of it. But now I'm thinking maybe there's also this as well. One of the other content creators here, Nagi, they're playing Wuthering Waves now. So hopefully, going forward, I'll be able to give out more content to you guys. Like, what does Japan think about this, that, the other, and we'll be able to actually finally hear more about what they think about this game. I mean, it sucks that all this has happened to Nerumero in the past. So yeah, Nerumero has done some content, but the reason why they don't play as often as they would have wanted to is because they have been told, or they've been asked, to say, not to by the Hoyoverse staff. This is an absolute clusterfuck of a situation. But yeah, guys, what do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video and you want to know more, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because I have more videos like this coming in the future. So until next time, I will see you in the next video. Peace.